Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here, and welcome to 3 for Friday. It's Mixed Media Mayhem every Friday. It's Pinkfresh Friday on the fourth Friday of every month. And in the month of September, it is Scraptember every day. So the prompts, the Scraptember prompt was for a patterned paper background. The Mixed Media Mayhem prompts are to use vellum, a patterned background, and fiber. And for Pinkfresh Fridays, we use primarily Pinkfresh products. And all of the paper products that you see, including these fussy cut flowers, are Pinkfresh. The vellum is from my stash, and the sequins are Spiegel Mom scraps. And the title and word or phrase piece are from Bramble Fox. And this stencil is, I'm sure, Crafter's Workshop, but whatever. I'm going to try something. I have no idea how it's going to work. If I had made this layout last night when I started, I was going to use this side of the paper. And then I decided that around my, so you can see I have the marks, around my photo, I wanted flowers that had some yellow in them because this is a yellow flower. This is kind of the way I might want to put this, but the way the photo was taken was this because she was looking up. So if you do it like this, it looks like she's just kind of standing there. But this is the way the photo was taken. I guess I should do it like this because you can kind of see her face better. I'll figure that out in a minute. So what I have done, I've taken one Pinkfresh paper, both of the papers. Anyway, I decided that these flowers on top of this floral background, if this were a different scale, like really small flowers, I might have tried it, but I actually really like this dark green background. And I've cut these from another piece of paper that, of course, the leftovers just look white now, but it left me, this is the reverse side of it, and it left me with these little guys that I can use on another page. So those get clipped together and put aside into the use for next Pinkfresh Friday. I cut these out, I hand cut them out, and then I distress the edges because I'm going to be laying them flat and they're going to kind of go like so. I made marks here. They'll go like this. And then I'm going to make it look like they are dripping white paint. I'll trim that off the edge by doing this, kind of starting this up there, so they all will have paint dripping down at the same place. So that's my idea. I'm gonna maybe put a little tape by these other pieces because I don't want to get any anything. I'm going to use it on this side, so I'm going to tape the other side. So to make it look like it's dripping paint, I'm going to really heavily splatter these arcs. Let's see, I'm going to do this. And more importantly, I'm going to do this and this. And nothing will stick when I turn it over, and I'm going to use it that way. Okay, so that's my idea. Let's get these things splattered. I'm going to just cover up. Let me get my wires out of the way. I'm going to cover this up and make sure I have the bottoms. What I want to do, what seems to make sense to me, is to have light splattering kind of up towards the top and then really heavy splattering here where it's going to begin to do the dripping. So where's my bottle? I have this bottle which says it's Dilution's white spray ink, and it may have contained that at one time in its life, but right now it has diluted watered down white paint, acrylic paint, and gesso to kind of keep it opaque. And I'm just going to do the basic splattering now, kind of. And I'm getting more on the mat than I am on the arcs. I ought to move the arcs closer together. That would have been a good idea at the beginning, but not so much now. Now I'm going to heavily do I do have to get a few more splats up here. And then I'll kind of take this whole thing up to dry. I'll take it off and put it on the floor to dry. I think I like it the way it is. So we'll see if I need more when I get it put together. But what my idea is that the splatters would be only on the rainbow, not on the green background. So we'll see how that works out for me. Okay, now I'm going to build the photo cluster, and I'm kind of going to try out a few of these I think that might work there. And then something like this over here. And because I'm going to use my fiber and my vellum in this, and what I want to do now is kind of do that. And then here, I'm going to put some and I guess this has, I've determined which way I'm gonna have this. I did want some pink in there. and ended up not getting any because, okay, here's a pink one. It's kind of pale pink, and I guess I could do something like so. And I'll curl these so there's some dimension back there. I don't like that. So I'm going to put these flowers away. I may pull another one or two back to put somewhere else on the page, but I think this is it for, this might be nice up in that corner. I think this is it for that. Now let's do the vellum leaves. I need to have a base for those. Then I'm going to put foam behind all of this. Let me get a base, a tape base for that. Okay, and then this one will go here. Kind of like so. And then I want to have something right there. That can kind of stay behind. But then this, I think there's one that can curve down. It's already been curved with the way that it's been stored. Maybe like so. And by the time this is done, that gesso should have dried. I'm not going to use this tropical leaf, so that goes off to the side, I think. And the reason I'm building this with all of these pieces, well, first of all, of course, is so that I can let the splatters dry. But I want to know how big it's going to be so I know where to place it. Okay, now let's do some foam. And mostly I'm just going to cover up the areas that I have tape. And that should support it pretty well. Put this here. And this can go here. And that can go there. And I need a little bit here. I'm going to put some down in this corner because it may not be fully supported, and I'm not even going to waste this little bit. Okay, so I know now that I have to put it pretty far up on that pink arch, and I think that's gonna work. Now comes the scary part. Okay, so I'm going to bring this back, and to get any bits that are still wet so that they don't smear, I'm going to do this. And it looks like it was pretty dry. Okay, so let me peel these off. I'll put this aside to wash. And then let's get these down. I'm going to put the tape kind of right across where I have the pencil marks. And then, okay, and it's not sticking. Well, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to do some taping like that. Okay, and I just didn't want to mess with the splatters. I didn't want to press down on them. Okay, but as it turns out, it's fine. It's just fine. I'm just making sure that the ends and it's where these end up isn't too important because I'm going to be doing texture paste over them. All right, now let's see if my placement still makes sense. It does. I kind of like that. So I don't have to do the drip down here unless I just want to. I'm going to tuck the fiber in to the cluster after I have it secured on there. Okay, now, hopefully this is gonna work out. I'm gonna put this one right here, and I'm spacing it by the bottom drip. Okay. This is a light texture paste, and I may, in this instance, have wanted a heavier one to kind of bridge that change in elevation that's occurring where the paper ends. And this may end up being a lesson learned kind of thing. Didn't even think of that until just this minute. Let me smooth that a bit. And I think it's okay. You can see the end of it there. And this last little drip is kind of, it's kind of skinny. I had hoped it wouldn't be that skinny. Okay. I'm okay with all of this, actually. It actually looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. The heavier texture paste may have been a better idea, but this isn't bad. And I'm just I started to moisten this texture paste last night, and I thought, because the last time I used it, it was kind of beginning to get dried out. It's dried out on the edges. And I thought, now I want it as thick as possible. I don't know why it didn't occur to me then that I should use the thicker paste. Let me get that up. Okay, again, some smoothing right in there, but it's not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to look like a mess. So there we are. I'm going to do this one just in case some of it might show down below the flowers. But that means we have to dry it before we put the floral cluster on. So what I may do is put the, I may go back and on my word there on and I may go ahead and do the, gosh, those little things didn't even go all the way down, and that's okay. I don't like the seam right here, so I don't like how it looks when you go over it like that, but at this point, building up kind of a chunky, messy paint sort of look isn't the worst thing. And I can, that isn't the worst look. It's kind of an appropriate look for what we're going for here. Okay, and I'm happy with the number of splatters. So I'm going to put this up, and I'll put that in the kitchen so I can moisten it. I'm just going to leave it overnight with a very wet towel kind of draped over and blocking the air from it, but let's see. I may put this in my paper trimmer. Do we dare put this in my paper trimmer? That's funny. Okay, let's try this and do this. Let's see. I'm having to be very careful. Okay. So that in the process of getting it into the trimmer, I don't mess up the mixed media, because it is a mixed media mayhem. Okay, now let me get some glue to get this little skinny piece to stay. And I've got a piece of texture paste that wants to get on my watch band, and I don't want that. Okay. Well, that's not staying. Let's kind of push that down. Let's now do this. And there's none of this that's going to show. So I think I'm just going to embed the foam into that, and I think I'm going to do this right there. What I want to do is figure out where this goes. This is some tulle that's primarily used for ballet costumes, at least in my experience. And I thought I would cut some small lengths of it, secure it with a stapler, and put some glue on it, and stuff it under the florals. So let me try that again. I'm just gonna, I don't want it to look pleated. It can be kind of fluffed out, but I do need the ends to kind of hold together so that it stays in place once glued. I'm going to put it right here. And then I'm going to pull this leaf up and let it overlap the photo. And I'd like another small bit. I want this to be able to fit there, so I'm not sure whether I want the small bit here. I'm more thinking it would be up there. And so let me get a little bit smaller piece. And I won't worry about fluffing it out too much, because it'll be just kind of a smaller accent. Okay, and that leaves me room for this. And I'm not sure where my title's going to go. I'm thinking the title may go across those top flowers, maybe just with the flowers peeking through. Maybe like that. I'll think on that for a minute while I do this. And I'm going to try to line it up with the lines on the page. If you're going to use a page with lines, you may as well take advantage of them. Okay, so that can go. This is kind of messing with my greenery, but that's okay. Do I want it there or here? Does it show up enough with the green and everything that makes everything there? I kind of prefer it here or even here. I actually like it there. So this is definitely one of the more unusual pages I've done, but I like it, and I love that picture of Reese. It's Okay, I gotta get glue off the the edges of the letters. And I wouldn't do this if this were any other color but black, because and I'm gonna have to use this with my tweezers to get that clean. It will dry clear and matte, but on black there will be a telltale little glob, for lack of a better word. And I don't know how many of you play Whirlyword out there, but glob is a word in Whirlyword. So I figure if it's in the Whirlyword dictionary, it must be a real word, and I can use it in scrapbook videos. There is another glob there, and one here. I need to have some of those pointy Q-tips on my desk for situations like this. Now, I'm gonna maybe try to tease this out a bit. And it's not staying glued. It has absorbed all the glue, which happens sometimes even with foam. So I won't tease it until I'm sure it's dry, and I probably don't need to mess with that anyway. Okay, so I have my bleeding rainbows, or my drippy rainbows, and my floral cluster over here with Reese chasing a daisy. I didn't have any Pinkfresh flowers that were daisies. In fact, I have very few daisies of any kind. I have some that I drew myself once, and I scanned my drawing, and I'm going to put a few sequins around. There's this sequin mix is called Summer Sunset. It was designed by Sarah Scraps, and for Spiegel Mom Scraps. And I love it for the different coppery bits. There's this holographic, and then there's the little kind of flat copper washer looking sequin. So I'm going to do a few in here. And then there's also this white flower that's kind of pretty and goes nicely on a floral layout. And there. And I'll do a few over here in this last little, well, I'll probably do one right there. And I'm going to make it one of these holographic ones. And I may put some on the flowers there. The texture paste is dry because I just touched it. Okay, and let's take, there are also some really cute little tiny clear ones in here. I've got texture paste and glue all over my fingers. It's kind of fun. I'm going to try to pick up, well, you know what? That piece of glue is too big for the little tiny clear ones. Let me see if I can do one down here. That should work. And I might even try to put some on this netting. There we go. I think that glue will hold. All right, I think I'm done. I'm not putting anything up here in this corner, unless you think I should. Maybe that actually is kind of cute. So I'm gonna glue it on the end, and I'm gonna put a little bit of foam on the floral bits, the leaf bits. Just when I think about something and decide not to do it, I find something that would be perfect. So, go figure. And it brings the yellow color up across the page so that it doesn't look like such an anomaly down here in this corner all by itself. It's obviously from a different collection. Because there is no yellow in the Lovely Blooms collection, which is what everything else is from. Okay, I'm done. And thank you very much for watching. I think I've got the vellum leaves, the patterned paper background, and the fiber elements for Mixed Media Mayhem. I've got the pattern background for Scraptember, and what else am I working on? Oh, Pinkfresh Friday. Of course. It's all the Pinkfresh all the time. And I thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.